And welcome one, welcome all to my favorite live stream to date. 1,000 subscribers. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of you. We will be answering fantasy football questions today, of course, as we always do. To hit quadruple digits after everything that has been put into this channel, after everything me and a lot of you have been through, after all of the different growth periods, after a handful of NFL seasons, I just wanted to come on and give you guys my gratitude before we kind of jump into the typical content of doing our research ahead of week 3. First off, thank you to every single one of you. I know it sounds like a cliche, but I've got to thank all of you. Without you, this literally does not happen. 100 seemed crazy to me. 500 seemed crazy to me. Every 100 after seemed absolutely insane to me. And 1,000 is... I don't know. I woke up at like 5:30. My girlfriend was going to work, and I saw 998 turn to 1,000 and was overwhelmed with emotion. I mean, long time coming. I can kind of give you guys a little context on this channel a little bit if you don't mind. And then again, more than happy to answer your fantasy football questions and dive into week 3. This started out as a sports podcast. This started out when I was at this picnic and I was hanging out with my girlfriend and her family, and it was like right after COVID, so like late 2020, right? I want to say August of 2020, right before the season started. And my girlfriend's dad gave me a snowball mic, which is kind of like a starter mic. Like it's got a little tripod below it. It's this big like white thing, kind of looks like a snowball, thus the name. And he was like, "You are very into sports. Like I know you're going to major in sports broadcasting in college. I think it would be an awesome idea for you to just start a podcast." And he kind of got out in front of the podcast wave. Like this was actually this was in 2019 when he gave that to me. So he kind of got out in front of the podcast wave and was like, "I think it'd be cool if you had your own platform outside of what you're already going to do in school." This is before I was even in college, right? This is the summer before my freshman year of college. I am 23 years old now. That's when this whole thing was born. He's like, "I think it'd be great if you had your own platform to really talk about whatever you want to." So if you look way back on this channel, I don't know, I'm going to have a tribute video to all of you and kind of just an overall thank you as well as the giveaways, right? There is a subscriber giveaway with a NFL jersey on the line that will get you a lot of you guys involved in and give each of you an equal chance to do, and we'll do a live drawing and all that. But before I did any of this, I was just talking about random sports. It was called All Sports Now. I will tease that in the video that I'm going to be making in the next week or two, where I would talk everything. I would talk NFL, I would talk NBA, I would talk MLB, I would talk golf, I would talk tennis, I would talk NASCAR, all of it, right? And I got friends and family to watch it. I got a handful of people to kind of jump onto it, and it was a lot of fun. You know, I learned a lot. And then when I go back and look at those videos I did this morning, I realized how stiff I was behind the mic. I looked very uncomfortable. I looked very awkward. I didn't seem like I was really in my element. And now I am literally just talking to all of you like you are in person with me. And it's something that definitely comes with reps. It's something that comes with time. So did that for a couple years. And then in 2022, I will never forget this. The summer of 2022, so 2 NFL seasons ago now for your reference there, I was out disc golfing with my friend. Again, something I picked up during COVID. It was free, fun. And I stuck a disc to within like 10 feet. And I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. My friend recorded it. It was like 25, 30 seconds with the lead up. I cut it down to 15. And I put it up on YouTube. And it was buffering. And then after a couple weeks, I was like, oh, it never posted. That's weird. Finally finalized it, titled it something like I Got a Disc Golf Birdie. Boom. This is on my personal YouTube channel, not even on this thing. Sent it, never thought of it again. Go to bed and wake up, go throughout my daily routine. I'm done with classes. It's the next afternoon. And I check my phone and I've got like 25 YouTube notifications. I'm like, what the hell? Like why is YouTube blowing up? This has never happened. You know, this is when I'm still doing this all sports themed podcast. And I'm like, okay, that's odd. I look and they're all likes, they're all comments, they're all engagements. And that video that I accidentally posted on YouTube in the form of a short got 9,500 views when my other stuff was getting 10 views, 15 views. I kind of knew what YouTube Shorts were, but I was like, oh, I I just accidentally posted a short. I posted a video on YouTube that's less than a minute. It was like portrait, and it went viral. Weird. And I was like, okay, I really wanted this sports podcast thing to take off, and all of a sudden I just accidentally ran into 10,000 views. There's got to be a way to replicate this. And I promise I'll get to all your comments here in a moment. I just wanted to tell this story because it means a lot to me and how it led to where we are now. It's like, okay. Well, then I'm going on YouTube and, I'm preparing for another fantasy football season. I'm a crackhead at that stuff. I've got 7-8 teams at this point, more than I probably should have had. And I'm like, oh, there's a lot of YouTube content creators out there. What do they focus on? Oh, they're diving into these advanced analytics, but I understand what they mean. These are things I've been using and looking at and referencing ever since I was 12, 13 years old and I started playing fantasy. I'm all right. What if I just did a fantasy football short? So I started doing start 2, sit 1, and this is day 1 stuff before I even started going live. And at this point, I had also changed my sports podcast to Armchair Athletes. So thus the logo, the armchair logo right there. That originated from a podcast, a rebranding of a podcast, if you will. I had my friend Chris, who goes to UW-Madison right now. He jumped on with me. My friend Marie made the logo, paid her, probably enough money to buy a cup of coffee. It wasn't enough. She didn't want to take anything. And I was like, okay, let's just see what happens. I started learning in my different classes. I was a junior in college at this point. Let's see what happens if we hyper-focus on one thing. Because if you were a NASCAR fan or a baseball fan or a football fan or a tennis fan or a basketball fan, and you watched my other podcast, I'm sure I addressed what you wanted, but I was addressing everything. So you were maybe into 10% of what I would make. And I started understanding through these classes I was taking about really hyper-focusing on something. It's better to give, in this case, 1,000 people exactly what they want, as opposed to giving 1,000,000 people 1% of what they want, or 10,000 people 10% of what they want, or 100 people or 100,000 people 1% of what they want. So okay, let's do a short. Let's do a start 2, sit 1 short. Very low parameters on this, because obviously if I'm telling you to sit Calvin Ridley and he's your wide receiver 2 and your wide receiver 3 is Trey Palmer, you're not going to do it. But you get the premise. I found people with optimal matchups and plugged them in. And I found people with not great matchups, not great numbers, super surface level stuff, and plugged them in. So I did those 2 things and decided, okay, let's post a short. And it got a few hundred views. I was like, okay, this is something. This is a lot better than the 20, 30 views I was getting. So I was like, all right, let's do it again. And we did it every week. And then eventually I was like, well, let's start going live. In 2022, I was like, I have no clue what's going to happen. I might have streams with nobody on. And I did. I had streams where the first 30 minutes, nobody was on. And I was just talking to myself. I was plugging away at my fantasy research because it was something I was passionate about. But then I started to become a nerd about YouTube analytics. Okay, well, if I keep all the important stuff within 60 characters, we're in a pretty good spot. That's what everyone sees. Well, if I use a few hashtags, not a ton, but a few, and match them with my keywords and match them with what's in my title, all of a sudden I'm telling YouTube exactly what niche I'm in, and it's shoveling my content to the right people. Okay, nice. Now it's in front of the right people. How do I strategize, mimic, and make my own compelling thumbnails so that when this is pushed out in front of the right people, you guys click on it as opposed to the other fantasy football YouTube creators? Okay, well, now that I have that, how do I make sure that my title that matches with my tags and my keywords has a compelling enough pull to, again, pull you in, if the thumbnail doesn't do its job, over the other 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 options that you see on a daily basis? And I kept fine-tuning that. I was like, all right, well, I kind of understand what these keywords do. I'm starting to look at it, audience analytics. When are people on? When are people off school? So I'm intentionally getting live around 3:30, 4 o'clock in between classes, or when I would go broadcast games in college. All of a sudden, people are starting to jump on the live stream, and then the same people are jumping on the next live stream and the next one, and they're commenting, and they're asking questions, and they're complimenting my horrible mustache. And what I'm trying to say here is I started building up all these different strategies, going, all right, I know this will get my content out there. What I did not anticipate through making the Discord last year, thanks to my friend Jordan, who does video game content, and he has over 2,000 subscribers. He's a big reason I'm where I'm at now. What I did not anticipate was forming pretty good bonds with some of you guys. Like, I'm seeing in the chat right now, Max Rin, that's a college buddy. Prey, been around for a couple years. What a run, right? And we're not even close to being done. Denny just joined like last week and has been one of the more active people in Discord. You know, I can like describe each and every one of you because these bonds are a lot stronger than I thought. We've got Wally Lukashinsky in here, congratulating me on 1,000. Thank you so much, man. Talk about a grinder. Talk about someone who cares about their work, and talk about somebody who is passionate about what they do. Raven Shoyo, you've been on board for a while now, and I moderate you in all these. Speaking of which, I'll do that now. Saying 100K up next. I do appreciate it. You know, there's a lot of you that I did not expect to get to know in such a big capacity, and I'm very, very glad I did. You know, you guys are... Oh, how do I get you into moderator mode? There we go. Yeah, so the bonds were really cool, right? Just to get to know a lot of you, get to know your favorite teams, where you're from, what you're into, what kind of research you've been doing, how you did in fantasy. Some of you guys have been thanking me for like helping you win your leagues, which is awesome stuff. I will always say you press the final button, like it is ultimately on you. I can give you as much information as possible, but you guys deserve credit for your wins. I'm just happy to help. You know, I expected to grow and grow and grow and grow this channel. And I expected to grind away, put content out, get interaction. Didn't really think about the human element of it. And the part that arguably I've fallen in love with most, if not just as much as the research and as the fantasy football aspect. And it's been awesome. You know, there's like 25 of you in a Discord where we are just talking ball 24/7. There are 10 to 12 of you that join every single stream. And that number is honestly probably grown closer to 15 or 18 now, because then some of you guys check back after I'm streaming. You guys, I would have never met most of you if this didn't happen. And I just think about that domino effect of like, wow, if my girlfriend's dad never gave me that snowball mic and I never started creating content, and I never rebranded to Armchair Athletes, and I never accidentally posted that short that got 9,500 views without me optimizing or doing anything, and if I never got addicted to trying to understand the YouTube algorithm and how to put out content that gets views, I would have never met you guys. So I am extremely thankful to each and every one of you who has hit that subscribe button. I mean that a ton. Who has taken time out of your day to watch, to listen to interact with me over a lot of other awesome content creators. So whatever stuck out about me, I greatly appreciate, and I am so happy that you guys are here. Let's jump into the comments a little bit here. I will answer your start sig questions, but Max saying, and you started another YouTube channel, Minor League Minute, which is amazing. So I'll jump into that in a bit too. Raven Shoyo saying, W. Marie, addicted to the grind. Max loving the mustache, the analytical stash, and the armchair lore. Congrats on 1K, Corey. No problem. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm disoriented. Thank you very much, Chess0516. That's another thing, right? So I also started a minor league YouTube channel that's got about 400 subscribers now, and I grew that a lot quicker than I grew this. My first 100 subscribers, I knew every single one of them from like being in person with them, you know, interacting with them. They were family, they were friends. I knew them on a day-to-day basis, and I begged them, oh, you got 3 YouTube accounts, can you please follow? And then again, I got an idea of the keywords, short form content, paying attention to audience analytics, matching everything up, letting YouTube know exactly what your content is about so it gets pushed to the right people, thumbnail creation, graphic design, the stuff you see on the screen. I've learned a lot of that. I have learned a degree's worth of knowledge just by plugging away, bouncing ideas off of you guys, seeing what sticks, see what gets responses, and seeing what doesn't. And Max brings up a good point with the minor league channel. I don't know how much of you know this about me, so like I'll kind of let you in on a personal note, and then I promise we will get to fantasy content. I've been babbling for a bit here. My dream job is to be a professional sports broadcaster. You know, to call games at the highest level. My dad played baseball in the minors in the Minnesota Twins system. He got me into sports at a very young age. My family always had sports on the TV. And when I was like 4 or 5 years old, ever since then, really, I would just commentate games on TV. I would go, oh, Alfonso Soriano has 40 home runs this year, and he's batting above 290. There's not anybody else on the Cubs who has that combination or has had that combination for the last few years. Then I fell in love with, through college, basketball, building bonds with coaches and players, and learning how to become a meaningful storyteller. And as that happened in college, I kept balancing that with this channel. And the more and more and more I got involved with sports broadcasting and understood graphics, audio engineering, video engineering, setup, tear down, directing, producing, prep, all of that, it really did match up with this. Like the graphics I'm throwing on right now, the bullet points I work through, the ability to think on my feet, troubleshoot technology when something goes wrong. A lot of that was learned here. And if it wasn't learned here, it was learned in school, and then I applied it to here. But yeah, ultimate goal is to be a professional sports broadcaster, and just extremely happy to have been able to build this. This is also, I won't lie, like a portfolio builder for me. I want to be able to go up to a minor league team or a network for a company that broadcasts major games that I want to be on play-by-play for, and I want to be able to say, yeah, I built up this channel that has over 300,000 views, that has over 250 videos created, edited, and optimized and scheduled and posted by me. Yeah, I built this community of now 1,000 people. That is insane. I am in rural Wisconsin. There are cities around me that do not have 1,000 people. There are schools that are a tenth of that. There are 1,000 of you out there. That means a ton for someone who is 23 years old, who is working towards a broadcasting career, and who takes this extremely seriously, who takes researching all of this stuff to make sure that you guys are educated and well prepped for each of your weekly matchups extremely seriously. It means a ton. So seriously, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for what has been an awesome beginning. And one more thing before I really do move on and talk about the giveaway and then answer your questions. I've been through some stuff, like a lot of other people. Going into even this year, I was so jammed with my work schedule and calling games for a Division I university, and then starting another YouTube channel with 5 others who are very passionate about what they do, and I've been able to share the lessons I've learned here with them, and calling high school games, and starting my own daily show at my job, and running the social media account, and working myself to burnout, and then I'd still come home and stream for an hour and a half or 2 hours. I will let you guys in on a secret. I was debating going into this season, am I going to do this again? Like, am I going to jump on here and exert, sometimes 20-ish hours a week to interacting with you guys, to going live, to optimizing, to scheduling, to researching, making sure I'm staying up with the latest YouTube trends, making sure I am addressing the hottest fantasy topics, and as opposed to just playing fantasy myself. That was a debate I had to have. I lost my grandma last year, and I took a huge break from this channel because I just needed to be by myself. And I looked back at the mountain of work I made for myself, along with my job, along with broadcasting games, along with managing 2 different YouTube channels, along with writing for a fantasy football publication on the side, along with any other side hustle. I was driving back and forth 40 miles to Madison to call games for free. All this different stuff. And I'm like, do I go back? Like, is this a priority? Is this something I should keep doing? And ultimately, I decided to kind of be on live streams more as opposed to making videos, because editing takes a decent amount of time. I'm finding quicker ways to do it. I do want to get back to making videos. But I felt like answering your questions in a live capacity like I'm doing right now and interacting with you guys there is the best and most efficient way to help you while not burning myself out. So that's just kind of the thought process behind that. Thank you guys so much, seriously, for everything. Because as soon as I came back and started doing a couple live streams, I realized leaving this, letting this go before a huge milestone and before I build up more and more and more of you into this awesome fantasy football community, leaving this would have been a grave mistake. So just one more time, and probably not one more time, I'm sure I'll say it a lot, to anybody who has liked, subscribed, or anything in between, thank you so much. You keep me around, you inspire me, and you are the reason that I got here. I can do all this research, but ultimately, if each and every one of you didn't decide, I can stick around this guy. Maybe I'll join his Discord. Maybe I'll tune into his next live stream. Maybe I'll ask him, of all people, what I should do with my lineups that you guys are investing money into. Because you're doing all of that, I'm still doing this. So thank you guys so much. We will have a video going up in the next week and a half, 2 weeks, where I'll kind of give a little more of the fantasy football, the armchair fantasy football lore, the background of this channel, and then I'll detail more on what I'm about to say now, which is, you guys have given me so much, I have to give back at some point. I give advice, I give research, but I have to give something physical. There needs to be a gift. So if you look at the bottom part of this screen, we are doing a free NFL jersey giveaway coming soon. I am still getting details on how I'm going to have you guys sign up. We'll probably do a Google form where I can get your email and or phone number, and then we will go on a live stream in the next couple of weeks, spin, and the winner gets a free NFL jersey from Fanatics. I am not buying you something that is going to be cheap, that is going to wear down, where the numbers are going to come off in the wash. I am going to get one of you a jersey for your favorite player, whether it's Davante Adams, Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes. I'll go on Fanatics or another reputable website, and I'll cover whatever the cost is for a jersey that you want to buy. So very excited to give back to a community that has given me so much, that has made this milestone that had me breaking up in tears at 6 a.m. happen, that has me emotional right now, that has me proud to say I run a channel with such awesome people, and that's something I am very proud to show to my friends, to show to my family, that, he's not just making content. Like, he's got a community. He's getting 100, 150, 200, 250 views on a live stream. He's getting 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 views on a video. He's getting a few thousand per short. He's getting people in his Discord constantly talking to him. I'm so prideful in that, and I need to give back to you guys. And I want to do more giveaways in the future. This is hopefully the first of many. Obviously looking to monetize this channel. So, every minute that you watch gets me closer to that as well. I've got 1,000 subscribers, lots of watch hours I still need to and want to get. But thank you guys so much. So I will be giving one of you guys a free subscriber jersey giveaway prize. One of you is going to get an NFL jersey for a player of your choice, and we will have details on that soon. So thank you guys so much. I just want to go through the chat one more time here, and we will answer all of your fantasy football questions. Of course, if you are new here, we just did hit 1,000 subscribers. We are doing a subscriber jersey giveaway very soon. Details to come on how we're going to have you enter. I will be getting you a quality jersey, not something from DHgate. No offense to DHgate. I have stuff from DHgate, but I want to make sure I get you guys something very durable. So I just want to make sure I get through the comments here. Yeah, so Wally saying, you're a dog. Congrats on 1,000. Appreciate it. Raven Shoyo saying 100K up next. Yes, sir. That is the hope. Yeah, I appreciate you guys. This means a lot to me. This channel, the interaction happening on this channel keeps me and keeps it going. So very excited to do that. But yeah, if you are new here, my name is Corey. This is Armchair Fantasy Football. Make sure you pay your attention to the right side of the screen. Fantasy guidelines. We have availability, opportunity, productivity, and opponent strength. Availability, are they on the field? That is very relevant with guys like CMC, Kenneth Walker III, and many others, not even just in the backfield going down. Opportunity, we are looking at snaps, touches, and targets. Productivity, we are looking at a high yards per carry for those running backs. We are looking at a high amount of yards per target or yards per catch for receivers. Quarterbacks, it's pretty straightforward, and we want to capitalize on weak opponents. All right, let's look for more questions here. I will go down the line. Gabe in the base saying, start Minshew or Caleb. Caleb is obviously going up against a very weak defense in the Colts, who got ran all over. against Malik Willis and the Packers last week. I do think the Bears win that game. The Bears have a phenomenal defense. It's kept them in both games. It won them week 1, and it's the reason they were able to compete against the Texans. So that's the first reason. I think this defense can keep them in the game. And I do think that this game can become ugly. The second reason is Caleb looks like he's improving. He went up against another tough defense in the Titans. They're going around the AFC South right now. They've already ticked off the Titans, Texans, and now Colts are up next. Jaguars are the only other team they have to go up against. That's coming up soon, later on in the season. I do think that Caleb is improving. 174 yards. He looked a lot more comfortable down the field, forced a couple throws, kind of tried to play hero ball, got sacked 7 times. So I think he's improving. I think he's going up against a weak defense that's not going to be able to stand up against the run as much. One of the few times this year where I do believe the Bears' current offensive line can help them run the ball. And I think Caleb will actually have a chance to pick them apart. Now we look at the flip side. Caleb's improving, going up against an extremely weak defense. Anthony Richardson has been a turnover machine early on. Has not looked sharp. You know, he had that insane throw in week 1 off his back foot for about 65 yards. But he's going up against a team that had the most amount of turnovers in the NFL in the back half of the 2023-24 season. And they have done nothing short of be phenomenal early on. They jarred a fumble loose against the Texans. They managed C.J. Stroud and that stacked receiving core of Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Dalton Schultz, and Tank Dell about as good as you can. All of that said, I think I am taking Minshew because he is the only quarterback so far to throw for more than 250 yards in each of the first 2 weeks. He does have Devontae Adams. He does have Jacoby Myers, 2 dudes. Not a phenomenal 1-2 punch, but a pretty good one. And then, he's got Brock Bowers, who is my projected tight end 1 for the rest of the season. He has been targeted a lot. He has looked extremely effective, and he checks off all 4 boxes for me on the right side of the screen. Going up against the Panthers, a team that struggled. Yes, he is going toe-to-toe with the Red Rifle. I actually think that helps Minshew out more. Because if the Raiders were to go out and win 27-3, it's going to be a run-heavy scheme in the second half. I think the Red Rifle makes it a more competitive ball game to where the Raiders still have to keep their foot on the gas. So I'm going to go Minshew due to the fact he has performed more and also has a weak matchup. We have George Play01 saying, who should I start for non-PPR? We have Gesicki, Ertz, and Colby Parkinson or Strange. Not going to go Strange, not going to go Ertz. Colby Parkinson has an interesting scenario because obviously no Cooper Kupp, obviously no Puka Nacua for the foreseeable future, which sucks. They are going against the 49ers, talking about the Rams here. So I do think even though they'll be down, I do think they'll lose it. They should have a throw-heavy script, and he doesn't have much target competition. Mike Gesicki in general has had a lot of targets. T. Higgins coming back. Mike Gesicki has had a good start so far. So I'm either going Gesicki or Parkinson due to lack of target competition and or productivity, depending on who we're looking at. Giorgio Inters says, start Akers or Juwan Jennings. If this is in PPR, I am going to go with Jennings, even though Akers does kind of slot up a spot in that depth chart. We'll go down. Start Minshew or Caleb. Yeah, we're going to go with Minshew. Austin Burnham says, 12-man league, half PPR. I would trade Malik Neighbors, Jordan Love, and Tony Pollard for Lamar Jackson, Brandon Ayuk, and some fab. So from Love to Jackson, we get more rushing upside. I do think there's a slight upgrade there. Ayuk and Neighbors, we have somebody more established in Ayuk. I know Neighbors isn't in a great offense, but he has looked good through the first couple of weeks. Pollard for somebody. I do believe that Pollard is going to continue to fight with Tyjae Spears. Austin, before I answer that, we're going to dive into one of my favorite pages. It's Fantasy SP. I am just curious what the touch and target share looks like. Obviously, Tyjae is down, so it's going to be Julius Chestnut. It was actually a pretty even split. Well, not an even split, but close to being one between Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears when it came to snaps. Touches, it was not close. Tony Pollard has looked productive, 4.4 yards per carry. So you'd be dealing Pollard on a team that, okay, long-term, I don't know if they win a whole lot of football games, so maybe they go more throw-heavy because they are working from behind, and has caught 8 of 10 targets. Would love to know who that third element is, Austin, but I do believe that Ayuk is a good upgrade from Neighbors. He's a safer play. and Jackson a slight upgrade from Love. Obviously, healthy the rest of the season would help because Love has missed a couple of weeks now. Would be curious to see who that third element in your trade is. That's that's something I'd like to know a little more about, I would say. All right. Ravens is asking if Chess0516 has a May 16th birthday. That's crazy if he does, because it looks like Raven Shoyo has a May 16th birthday as well. I believe Cam Ward, it's Cam Ward or Gardner Minshew, has a May 16th birthday. I guess there's more than one Cam Ward. No, is it Minshew? May 16th. Don't ask how I knew that. I love Gardner Minshew. Chess0516 and Raven Shoyo, you two are sharing a birthday with an amazing NFL quarterback. All right, moving on. So we have... Yeah, you guys have the same birthday. Awesome. Gabe 3001, pick 2 between Ford, Akers, and Diggs. If this is PPR, we are automatically slotting Diggs in, even though that Collins has had more involvement with him early. Ford or Akers? I'll go Jerome Ford for the foreseeable future. I do think that the Browns rely on the run a little bit more, especially considering the Texans have a tougher-ish matchup against the Vikings coming up. I could see that one being competitive. I do still think the Texans win it. But yes. Raven Shoyo saying this is an awesome community. I agree. Jose Avalos says at wide receiver, should I start Brandon Ayuk, Khalil Shakir, or DJ Moore? Let's break this one down. We'll just look at general numbers first. Again, if you guys are just joining in, we are doing a subscriber jersey giveaway coming up in the next week or two. I'll have a video coming out just as a tribute to all of you for everything you have done to help me build this channel to 1,000 subscribers. 2,000's up next, then 3, then 5, then 10. No intent of slowing down, especially with everything I've learned that I've been able to use to help grow this thing faster. I am hoping to pick up steam. All right, Khalil Shakir, we're looking at a man who's caught all 8 of his targets through 2 games, does have a score about 100 yards. DJ Moore, plenty of target competition. Caleb Williams obviously hasn't looked great. Moore did have 10 targets. He has 18 on the season. He's caught 11 of them for 100 yards, no scores. And the last one, Brandon Ayuk. Ten targets. He's caught 6 of them for just about 70 yards. He is extended going up against an easier-ish matchup in the Rams, the highest projected total yet. Back to wide receiver 1 billing versus the Rams. Well, now that he's extended, we're locked down. I feel pretty good long term. Question is he going to score early and often? Because I could really see Jordan Mason having a great day against the Rams. We love running backs on teams that are winning because they're going to chew the clock at the end. I'm going to go with Brandon Ayuk and... DJ Moore has had more volume, and this is a very vulnerable defense in the Colts. We've seen it through the first 2 weeks against the Texans and then the Packers, who literally told them they were going to run it by carting Malik Willis out there and running it 50-plus times, and they still couldn't stop it. I think the run game builds the pass. Caleb and a very loaded wide receiving core that includes when healthy DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, and Rome Odunze performs well. So I'm going to go DJ Moore and Brandon Ayuk. We will sit to Khalil Shakir. Let me know if you have any more questions there. Luke T says, yo, I got an offer that I can get Lamb for Gibbs, and then my idea would be to try and sell Lamb for a better running back like Breece or Saquon. Good idea, or just hold on to Gibbs. Gibbs, you're going to get pass catching upside. He's always going to be kind of poached by David Montgomery as long as they share the backfield when it comes to touchdowns. If you're just trying to upgrade at running back and you're looking for Breece or Saquon, I want you to keep in mind Braylon Allen looks really good early on. He's not going to take the backfield, but Breece may have a little competition. And Saquon Barkley, we also have to keep in mind injuries with both he and Breece. We haven't really had any of those issues with Lamb. If you got Lamb and you felt okay with your backfield without Gibbs, maybe we hold on to him. Otherwise, I would hold Gibbs in general for now. So either hold Gibbs, make the trade for Lamb and keep Lamb, or just sit there. All right. Jose Avalos at tight end. I can start Kmet or Gesicki. Kmet or Gesicki? Kmet's got a lot of target competition. I'm going to go Gesicki. We can take a quick glance here. Is it Gesicki? Am I going nuts? Oh, that's because he's not a wide receiver, Corey. All right, going up against a Commander secondary that's given up a decent amount. Gesicki has looked very nice. Tight end 6, 13 targets. Not a very high snap percentage, but when he's out there, he's getting the ball. And the snap percentage is going up. And the projection's going up. And it's not a very tough matchup against Washington this week. Whereas Kmet, haven't heard his name called a whole lot this year. Higher snap percentage. The passing game still isn't really getting going. I do think it's a nice matchup, but I don't want to take a flyer on Kmet here. Yeah, a risky deep league play. Let's go with Gesicki. I'm not going to apply too much thought to that one. Both have easy matchups, but Gesicki has a lot more upside based off of his performance in the first couple of weeks. We are at 14 likes, 15 likes on the stream. If we could get up to 20, I would greatly appreciate it. My name is Corey. This is Armchair Fantasy Football. We are doing a subscriber jersey giveaway coming soon. Thanks to the fact that you guys built me up to 1,000. Cannot say thank you enough for it to fully be an expression of how much gratitude I have for all you guys. But yes, if you are new, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. We are here to help you out-research your fantasy opponent in 2024. I'm burning through these comments right now. And as always, make sure you use our 4 fantasy guidelines. Availability, are they on the field? Opportunity, touches, snaps, and targets. Productivity, what are they doing with those opportunities? Different metrics that we can dive into on that. And opponent strength, we get more and more data in 2024. We get more and more of an idea of what the better matchups are. Raven Shoyo. So yeah, Jose, I am going with Gesicki over Kmet at the moment. Raven Shoyo says, need one for my flex. Higgins or Shakir. It's looking like Higgins may not be held back by a limited snap count. Using the fantasy guidelines, I am leaning Higgins. Full PPR was my next question. Yeah, I would go Higgins considering that it seems like that offense is missing a weapon right now. No, they're not going to have Tyler Boyd back anymore. The Jamar Chase saga lives on, although he's not really negotiating. I would do that. This offense only gets better throughout the season. They always kind of stumble out of the gates with a bit of a lull. Maybe it's due to lack of play in the preseason, but you could make that argument for everybody, so maybe it just hits Cincinnati a little bit harder. I'm going to go Higgins over Shakir. Higgins has some target competition, but Josh Allen's been running the ball a lot, dumping it off a decent amount to James Cook. Shakir still does have some as well when it comes to Keon Coleman, Dalton Kincaid. So I will go Higgins there. I can just have more productivity too. Higgins was a 1,000-yard receiver not too long ago. All right. Loss of Down podcast says Fanatics and Reputable making a debut in the same sentence. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, talking about the jerseys there. James Jones says Kincaid or Kelsey. Probably going to go Kincaid. Not much target competition. I know I said the same thing with Shakir where there's still some. Kincaid has had more upside as of late. Kelsey doesn't look great first couple of weeks. Maybe I bite my tongue on this. But right now I would take a much younger Dalton Kincaid in a pretty wide open offense. 17 likes. 3 away from 20. Appreciate it, guys. Jose Avalos. Should I drop Ezekiel Elliott or DeAndre Swift or Jets running back Braylon Allen? Oh, 4 Jets running back Braylon Allen? Is that what you're saying? I mean, 4. Okay, all good. I figured. Elliott or Swift for Allen? I don't think so because Allen is still sitting behind Breece Hall. So he's still going to be limited in somewhat of a capacity. He had a couple of receptions. He was efficient. Again, he's averaging over 5 yards a carry. You have anything? I think DeAndre Swift, if you're going to sell him off, you could get some trade capital for him after this week, going up against the worst rushing defense in the entire league in the Colts. I do expect the Bears to win that or at least be competitive as well. 20 likes. Holy cow. If we can get 25, that'd be awesome. I think that would be an all-time high. Already at 21. You guys are literally amazing. Thank you so much. I am overwhelmed with support. If you're joining in a little bit late, we are doing a subscriber jersey giveaway coming soon. I do have a video coming out just thanking all of you for the growth to 1,000 subscribers. It has been a 4+ year journey. All right, Elliott or Swift for Allen. Wouldn't do it yet. Allen is still taking a back seat. Elliott and Swift, not so much. Although I do like Rico Dowdle long-term and Braylon Allen. Rico Dowdle, Braylon Allen, and Chase Brown, I am all very high on for Dynasty. 5-year upside picture, big fan. Raven Shoyo says, now I have absolutely no choice but to stan Gardner Minshew. No, you do not. I love Gardner Minshew. All right. I'll get that out of my system while I can. Wally knows that if he's still in the chat. Ice Cold Jones says, should I trade Brandon Cooks for Steals? I think you get more upside there, especially if you're in a dynasty or somewhat keeper. I don't think Cooks would be a keeper for you, or Steals would. But I would do it if you're looking for that production out of the backfield, because obviously Isaiah Pacheco is out. Cooks is still competing with a decent amount of mouths that have to be fed, like Jake Ferguson, like CeeDee Lamb, and a couple of others. So yeah, I would do it. I would definitely do it. All right. TS is in here. Sit 1 PPR. We are between James Conner, Tony Pollard, Mike Evans. I'm scared of Evans' matchup this week and worried Tampa won't have to throw much. My gut says Evans. In PPR, I'm very scared of sitting Mike Evans. Let's look at the other situations. Tony Pollard going up against the Packers front seven. Did give up a decent amount to Josh Jacobs. That was overshadowed by the fact that... oh, wait a minute. What am I talking about? Gave up a decent amount to... Pollard, Connor, or Evans? So the Titans took on the Bears. Pollard did look good against the Bears at the beginning. But then obviously the defense took over. So Pollard going up against... That's what I was going to say. Pollard is going up against a Packers squad that allowed 100 and some change to Jonathan Taylor. 24 likes. We are one away from 25. I would greatly appreciate it, folks. Thank you so much for the support today and every day. I do like the Pollard situation because actually Tennessee is favored as well. I believe Malik Willis is going to go out there. There's really no reason. 25 likes. Let's go. Appreciate you guys. I really don't think there's a reason for the Packers to go out and play Jordan Love at worst. After this week, they're 1-2. They were 2-5 and 3-6 with a fully healthy Love, and he helped them climb back. So I'm not hitting the panic button there. So I think with the Titans being favored, with the Titans likely winning at home or having a good chance to win at home, he gets fed. Connor against the Lions. That's supposed to be a very high-scoring game. Evans going up against Detroit. Denver with them favored. TS, I think we actually go with your gut here. And then Baker or Carr. I'm going to go Carr. I think Baker might be in that same spot where he doesn't have to throw the ball a whole lot after the first couple of quarters. Tino's in here. How's it going, man? Talk about another grinder. Somebody who streams every day, outdoing me by a ton. Tino's Time says, my man, congratulations on hitting 1K. You truly deserve it. Been here since day one. It's been cool to watch you grow, and thank you for all the advice you always give me and help us win our leagues. No problem, man. Happy to help you. We are at 30 likes. Gotta go full screen for this. I love you all. This is phenomenal. Thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for 30 likes. Thank you for everything. We have been here since 2022 to help you out research your fantasy opponent, and the support has been phenomenal. 30 likes. That is a live stream record. And we have been on stream for like 45 minutes. I've done 3-hour streams before. You guys are amazing. Okay. All right. We'll keep answering your questions. I am over the moon with how awesome you guys have been. This is amazing. This is seriously, it makes me so happy. All right. Tino, I appreciate you so much, man. Cap for life. If you guys are into WWE or AEW or anything related to wrestling, or you happen to be a White Sox fan for baseball, make sure you look at Tino's time in our live chat and give him a subscription. He is another one who has really taught me what it means to grow an audience. He is constantly connecting with them in a live capacity. Cap for life says just traded Josh Allen, Khalil Shakir, Michael Pittman for Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Elijah Moore. Grade the trade, bros. Good evening, beautiful people. Cap for life's another one. Someone who has been here since day one. Need my fins to pull it off tomorrow. Do I go after Jayden Reed? I think if you're going to go after Jayden Reed, you do it before Love comes back, because every day it gets closer to Love coming back, Reed's value goes back up. I do believe that Jayden Reed, as versatile as he is the wide receiver one on that team. All right, Allen, Shakir, Pittman. Let's go straight across. Allen to Mahomes. Pretty straight up. Allen has a little bit more rushing upside. Shakir to Hill. A significant upgrade. Let's go the other way, actually. Let's go Pittman to Hill. Still a decent upgrade, even with Skylar Thompson out there. They do need to make a change. They had Mike White. I don't know what's going on. They got to go out and get a better backup. Tua's been very hurt. If he decided he's not going to retire, they got to make a different decision there. But Pittman for Hill, that's an upgrade. Shakir for Moore, there's opportunity there. I will say that. Grade the trade. I think it's pretty even. You've got more upside now with your elite talent in Tyreek Hill over somebody like Pittman. And you bought low before Tua came back, because Tua Tagovailoa did declare he is not retiring. Do you go after Reed? Depends on who you want to give up. You're making a lot of moves already here, so let me know what you have in mind. Galaxy Zach 2, Derek Carr or Purdy this week. Let's look at their matchups. How about the Saints being 2-0? So Carr up against Philly, and then Purdy up against the Rams. Now, Purdy up against the Rams could go very run-heavy very quickly. Jordan Mason has impressed, to say the very least, so far. Did somebody in my league drop Gardner Minshew for Bryce Young 2 days ago? What? I might pick him up. All right, anyway. That Niners team might go very run-heavy against the Rams, considering they are favored by about a touchdown, and the Rams are debilitated. I mean, no Puka, no Kupp. Kyron's banged up. Stafford's immobile. They're able to rush the quarterback. So I think it might be a run-heavy scheme for a Niners team that's pretty heavily favored this week, in my opinion. And then we look over at Derek Carr, who, in my opinion, through 2 weeks, the MVP so far. I wouldn't say he's exactly favored heavily here. In the QB1 mix for the week, yeah, I mean, Carr is QB3. I mean, this is one of the best starts to his career he's had. 5 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's not even really throwing the ball a whole lot. So now I get a little more excited here, because it's a competitive ball game, or at least we think it's going to be against Philly. I don't know. They just lamb-blasted Dallas after I thought they were kind of doing what everybody else would do to the Panthers and killed them the week before too. You don't see too many starting quarterbacks get to rest for 10% of the game, 91% snap count, 90% snap count, and still score like this through the first 2 weeks. So him against Philly, I think I like more, because I could see that being more of a competitive ball game where maybe we don't rely on the Saints to all of a sudden run in the second half. 30 likes, folks. If we can get to 35, I know it sounds greedy, but I'd love to see how high we can get this thing to go as we prepare for week 3. If it is your first time here, my name is Corey. This is Armchair Fantasy Football. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, so smiling eye to eye right now. But a couple of key bits of information that you should know. Well, make sure you like and subscribe to stay up to date with the subscriber jersey giveaway that is coming soon in the next week or two. We'll have more details coming up on a video with that, and then we will draw the winner randomly live. I will be getting you guys, one of you guys, who has helped us grow to 1,000, and I wish I could give you all one, a free NFL jersey for a player of your choice. So very excited to do that. And then, of course, we are here to help you out research your fantasy opponent in 2024. Make sure you pay attention to the right side of the screen. We have availability. Are they on the field? Opportunity. We're talking touches, targets, and snaps. Productivity. What are they doing with those opportunities? And opponent strength. We want to capitalize on weak opponents. Cap for life. Congratulations, bro. And then saying Purdy. I'm going to go Carr, but it is a close one. Thank you very much, Cap for life. I appreciate your support. Southside Boys saying congrats on 1K. So, yeah, if you are a White Sox fan out there, make sure you subscribe to the Southside Boys. They are on the live chat right now. Cap for Life saying, I like Carr, but I got to see one more game before I buy in. Well, that's fair. If you want to see a bigger sample size and you'd rather rock back and take somebody like Purdy, he should be all right. Justin Witt saying, what advice can you give me to beat Tino? Shoot the lineup my way. You guys can both ask me what the best lineup is going to be for you, and then let the best team win from there. All right. Going back up here, we have Jelly of the Month. That's another day one. Thank you so much for being subscribed all this time, Jelly. Need a flex and wide receiver 3. We're looking at Akers, Waddle, and Demarcus Robinson for the choices. I'm probably going to leave Akers out of there. I know the situation isn't great for Waddle because of Skylar Thompson being out there, and I know Demarcus Robinson isn't exactly a household name, but no Kupp, no Nakua. He has been that third option at times, as well as Parkinson kind of being involved. Maybe we go Demarcus Robinson and Cam Akers, obviously in that elevated role, as opposed to Waddle playing with poor QB play. Maybe we go Akers and then Robinson for your wide receiver 3. Corey Koriki says, yo, how's it going? How is it going, Corey? Love the name. And then TS says, thanks, buddy. Played Devonta Smith in the flex last week per your advice and won by 0.6. Attaboy! We love to see it. Tino and Justin are about to fight in the chat. Raven Shoyo says, I'm surprised the Finns haven't signed Ryan Tannehill yet, but maybe they really like Snoop Huntley. Yeah, so I saw they went out and get, that's right, they did go out and get Tyler Huntley. Tannehill returning to Miami. The beaches of Florida would be pretty cool. Obviously, the system's changed a little bit since then. Wide receiving core is a bit better. Tino's Time said, Raven, I said wouldn't it be ironic for him to go back there? Storybook type move. I agree. I mean, Andy Dalton is trotting out there for a start. Doesn't really have a whole lot of connections to the Panthers, but that'd be pretty cool. Jose Avalos says, rank my team. Quarterback, we've got Derek Carr. Love it. Running backs, we've got one of the few bell cows in the league. What do I mean by that? Josh Jacobs is not sharing the ball with a whole lot of people right now. Emmanuel Wilson fighting through injury. Obviously, A.J. Dillon going on the season-ending IR. It is a thin running back room. They just called Chris Brooks up from the practice squad in Green Bay. So love that. Brian Robinson has grown on me. He wasn't very efficient his rookie year, but he's looking better now. Wide receivers, we have Rashid Shaheed, DJ Moore. Tight ends, we've got Mike Gesicki. Wide receiver kind of that flex spot. We've got Brandon Ayuk and Jamo. And then kicker, we have Cairo Santos. Defense, Chicago Bears. Let me know if I need to make changes. Appreciate it. Jose, how many teams are in your league? I'm assuming 12. That's what I assume with most, but feel free to let me know. If it is 12, initial thoughts. A car is fine. I would want a security blanket in case he comes back down to earth. And then for Gesicki, I love you jumping on that. Let's make sure it's the same situation when Higgins comes back. Maybe we make a splash for an elite level wide receiver because you do have Shaheed, who I am very high on, especially in a dynasty capacity with his versatility. Guys like him, Jaden Reed, and Deebo Samuel bring us a lot of value. Taysom Hill, too. Maybe we package up him or DJ Moore coming off a good week when that happens with a bench piece and try and go up and get Chris Godwin or try and go up and get Justin Jefferson, like one of the top guys right now. Chris Godwin's a little more expensive than he otherwise would be. So maybe a slight upgrade in the wide receiver room, but I can't fully tell until I know how many teams we're working with here. Galaxy Zach saying, appreciate the advice. No problem. Wally is saying, Corey's love for Gardner Minshew should be studied. It should. I also love Cam Ward, who's playing right now. So go college football. Cam Ward, the lead for the Heisman right now. He and Gardner Minshew went to Washington State, and Gardner Minshew and he are also born 9 days apart. Obviously not the same age, but one's May 25th. That is Cam Ward. Gardner Minshew is the 16th, in case you were wondering, which is also the same birthday as Raven Shoyo and Chess0516. All right. Raven Shoyo says we can do it. Like it up, people. Yeah, 31 is a pretty cool number to see right now. Jelly of the Month says congrats on the 1K and the mustache game. Well, thank you. Do I keep it? So I shaved the beard. Well, the beard's getting a little scruffy now. I'm blonde, so it's kind of tough to grow a lot of facial hair, but I feel like the mustache sticks out more without the beard. So let me know. Maybe I'll put a poll in the chat. Maybe that's what I'll do. Let's do that. Can I do that? I don't know if I can. I should be able to. Dude, what? I thought I could. Maybe not. I was going to say, I thought I could do a poll here. We'll do one another time. All right. Let me know what you guys think of the mustache, essentially. I think I'm going to keep it. 32 likes. Love you guys so much. 3 away. All right. My name is Corey. This is Armchair Fantasy Football. We are helping you out research your fantasy opponent in 2024 and beyond, and specifically in week 3. All right. We'll go back down and catch up. Yes, thank you, Jelly of the Month. I appreciate the compliment on the 1K and the mustache. Morgan Nelson is in here. Hello, Morgan. Nice to meet you. Hope you're doing well. Half PPR proposed to me. I get Braylon Allen, Zamir White, and Olave. So 2 RBs and a wide receiver. They get J.K. Dobbins, Brian Thomas Jr., and Cam Akers. So obviously some youth there, and then a bit of risk with Dobbins being very injury prone and Cam Akers being in a temporary elevated role. And you would be getting Braylon Allen, long-term upside, and he has looked very efficient. Curious to see with Braylon Allen what happened with his snap total this last week. Because now we have 3 weeks, and I want to say it's gone up every week. It went down again a little bit, but 5 yards a carry, some pass catching upside. All right, so if we look straight across here, you went, we'll say Dobbins to Allen. Downgrade there, but again, Dobbins does have significant injury risk. Brian Thomas Jr. to Olave, you upgraded there. Zamir for Akers, you upgraded there. I think we're in a good spot, Morgan. Thank you for commenting. All right, Dylan Fink says, full PPR redraft. We are sending Xavier Worthy, Trey McBride, and Alvin Kamara. In return, we are getting Chris Olave, Mark Andrews, and James Cook. Worth the trade. I have Likely, so nice tight end insurance getting Andrews. I like the handcuff of the tight end. You don't see that too much, but that's pretty applicable, actually, with how much Lamar has used his tight end. Okay, that can just screwed up the lighting. Hopefully it fixes itself. Okay, it did. Dylan, so let's go straight across. Worthy up to Olave. We know a lot more about Olave. That's a great offense so far, and he's had a nice start. Olave's got a 1,000-yard season under his belt. Worthy is extremely fast, but a rookie, although he will be versatile. Upgrade there. McBride for Andrews. We're handcuffing. I'm fine with that. Kamara to James Cook. I am extremely high on James Cook. I was going into the season. I am in 4 fantasy football leagues, and I back up my talk with it because I have him in all 4 leagues. Now, maybe that's extreme. We're kind of living by the James Cook, dying by the James Cook. But you look at someone who had 22 touches and then another 12 touches, is extremely efficient on the ground, has been efficient on the ground, the brother of Delvin, and also has a decent amount of pass catching upside. I expect the pass catching upside to go up because of the fact it's Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, Dalton Kincaid, and friends. There's not a whole lot of target competition, and he was an effective pass catcher. One of the better ones in the league. Had 4 touchdowns, 44 receptions. So we're looking at 60 points right there, plus another 44.5 in a PPR format for receiving yards. Over 100 points just through the air. Big James Cook fan. Would not be shocked if he's top 5 by end of year. So I like that a lot. I really do. I think you upgrade across the board. Jose said 10. Okay. 10-teamer. Yeah, let's take Rashid Shaheed or DJ Moore coming off a bye week coming off a high week. Combine them with a bench piece and swing for someone. You could swing for Nico Collins. You could swing for Chris Godwin. You could swing for Amon-Ra St. Brown. You could swing for Justin Jefferson coming off a down week. I think we try and tap into some more elite level wide receiver talent because, okay, let's say we take Rashid Shaheed in a bench piece or DJ Moore in a bench piece to upgrade. You still have DJ Moore. You still have, let's say, Chris Godwin. And you have Brandon Ayuk and Jamo. So you have a lot of depth already. I say let's do a swing here and try and get some elite level wide receiver talent. Get someone who can give you that peace of mind and put up 25 points before it's even 2:30 in the afternoon if you're in Central Time. Before you're done with that initial slate on the NFL Sunday. All right, so yeah, I would say let's swing for an upgrade there. Your depth is great. Let's just try and tap into a top-tier talent. Not that DJ Moore isn't. He's dealing with a lot of target competition, though. All right. Dylan said 0-2 needs some wins. Yeah, I like the move, specifically for James Cook and the tight end handcuff. Raven Shoyo, would you try to move up from Monty to Gibbs in a trade? Monty's my RB2 behind James Conner in a 12-team 3-keeper full PPR. Currently have A.J. Brown, Puka Nacua, Deebo Samuel, Garrett Wilson, Tank Dell, and T. Higgins as my wide receivers. I am reluctant. I'm hesitant to go from one running back on a team to another. I know the Lions love to run the ball, and Monty has more rushing touchdown upside. If it was half PPR or standard, maybe. But because it's full PPR and we know Jahmyr Gibbs gobbles up receptions a lot more than Monty would for the most part, that's kind of more his profile, I'm going to say no. I would also just hate to make that switch and then you're like, Jahmyr's on the same team and just snapped. I feel like putting yourself in a tough situation there. MHJ or Amon-Ra? MHJ and Amon-Ra going against each other. MHJ and Amon-Ra locked into what's supposed to be a high-scoring battle. MHJ competing with Trey McBride. Amon-Ra competing with Sam Laporta, as well as the receiving back in Jahmyr Gibbs and Jameson Williams. I am going to go with, let's look at involvement early on. I know it's been a slow start for Amon-Ra. He's still one of the most consistent wide receivers in the league. I say it's been a slow start, but he snapped in week 2. I think that's a toss-up, to be honest. Because we saw what Marvin Harrison Jr. did in the first quarter last week. I think I still feel safer about Amon-Ra St. Brown. We've seen 2 different things from Marvin Harrison. We've seen a few years of greatness from Amon-Ra. So I think I'm leaning Amon-Ra here. Just off his more consistent and more built-out profile alone. Just liked, says Dylan. Thank you so much. Chess0516, Amari Cooper or T. Higgins? Full PPR. All right, so we've got the Bengals going up against a weak Commanders defense. And Cooper going up against the Giants. Both teams in spots to win their games. Amari Cooper and Deshaun Watson have not been on the same page for the majority of the first 2 games. He has caught 5 of 17 targets. Yikes. T. Higgins obviously entering this Bengals lineup. I mean, in general, right? We've got a pair of 1,000-yard receivers from years past. A lot to like about T. Higgins. He did it 2 times in the first 4 years of his career. Did take a step back last year. More involvement for Jamar even when he was out. I think I'm going to go T. Higgins. Pretty rough start for Amari Cooper. I want to see those guys get on the same page before I really invest in them. You never sit him on or St. Brown, James. Yeah, I'm thinking we go with the guy who's got more of a reputation built out in the NFL. I'm sure Marvin Harrison Jr. will be great. I was very impressed with week 2, but I'm thinking Amon right here. Morgan Nelson saying, thank you. I am a James Cook believer. Yeah, no doubt about it. There is plenty of target opportunity for him. He is very efficient. He has that pass catching upside, and he's a running back on a winning football club. So again, 4th quarter, trying to chew the clock. He's going to get the ball. Morgan, 100% agree. I'm a huge James Cook believer too. And then he had his 3-touchdown week and started week 2 off with a huge bang. So it just felt more and more and more rewarding as that performance went on. So very happy about that. Tyler Owens says, hey man, new subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing, Tyler. I do appreciate it. Keep in mind, you will also be in the running for a subscriber jersey giveaway coming soon. More details to come on that. All right. Tyler saying, hey man, new subscriber, need your help. My lineup is decimated by injury. Should I start Darnell Mooney or Alec Pierce? And Shuba or Samaje? Okay. Samaje and Shuba are both in situations where their teams will probably lose, so that is a tough one. Between Darnell Mooney and Alec Pierce, look, Chiefs have a tough defense, but the Bears defense has kept them in so many games so far. I think I am going to lean with Darnell Mooney in primetime. Mooney had a nice touchdown, too, where he shook off a defender, which was kind of shocking to me. Like, he's a smaller guy that was looking really tough there. And again, he was also a 1,000-yard receiver in Chicago a few years ago. 7 targets. Alec Pierce competing with Josh Downs, competing with Michael Pittman Jr. Does have a couple touchdowns to start the year. Very tough matchup with the Bears. Maybe they end up working from behind and he gets some garbage time touches. But I think we are feeling Darnell Mooney in primetime. It's close. Raven Shoyo says that is true. Thanks, Corey. Looking back here. Oh, yeah, for the Monty to Gibbs thing. That's just something where I feel like I'd get so ticked off if it didn't work out well. Knowing I had one Detroit running back and not the other, I'd be pretty pissed. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. If you are just joining, my name is Corey. This is Armchair Fantasy Football. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you want to out-research your fantasy opponent in 2024 and in Week 3. Pay attention to our fantasy football guidelines. Not many content creators out there who are going to give you a direct cheat sheet for free on the right side of the screen here. Availability, are they on the field? Opportunity. We are looking for touches, targets, and snaps. Productivity, what are they doing with that opportunity? We're looking for high yards per carry. We're looking for pass-catching running backs who are reliable. We're looking for high catch percentages. We are looking for high catch percentages along with a high yards per reception amount. That way we have someone who is productive, who has big play potential, but they're also a reliable target and are in line for more of those in the future because NFL teams don't want to take chances. And then opponent strength, also in that bucket, we like wide receivers on teams that are going to have to score a lot of points to win. Look for those high total amounts in Vegas lines or teams that are underdogs and are likely working from behind and have to go throw heavy. And then again, I'm a big James Cook believer as well, as Morgan was saying. Morgan Nelson, I definitely agree with you on that front. A running back for a winning football team, they're chewing the clock out, and they are running it a lot down the stretch to try and accomplish just that. Keep the clock moving. Folks, I am going to jump off. I will be back before the first slate of kickoffs tomorrow, the noon slate in Central Time, or wherever you're from, that first set of games, the main one, and we'll do basically a lineup setting session. You know, starts, sits, trades looking forward, waiver wire pickups, who should I go after, should I stream this defense, all that stuff. And then we will just go from there. Oh, Tyler, between Chuba and Samaje, I'm going to go Chuba because he does have more of a track record of being able to carry that load. I know he's still not the primary, but I do believe there's some potential there. They're both on teams that are heavy underdogs, so we're going to need the Panthers to try and shock some people. That's a sneaky one, though, with the red rifle going up against the Raiders. He's going to have to go up against a pretty tough pass rush, but I don't know. Veteran quarterbacks coming in, it's giving me Joe Flacco vibes. So based off that possible game script, I'm going Chuba, and then I'm going Darnell Mooney by a hair over Alec Pierce. That one's close, though. So, yeah. All right. Raven Shoyo thanking me there. Thank you, Raven Shoyo. Thank you, all of you, for being so supportive. Morgan Nelson saying enjoy, man. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thank you all, again, for building this channel up to 1,000 subscribers with me. Did not do this by myself. There were a lot of you involved, 1,000 of you, actually. So thank you for the support. We will be live streaming tomorrow, setting those lineups for Week 3 and helping you out-research your opponent in 2024, in Week 3, in 2025, and beyond. I'm Corey. This is Armchair Fantasy Football. Stay tuned for the subscriber jersey giveaway. More info coming soon, and we will see you tomorrow.